Describe a bad service you received in a restaurant, shop you should say. When and where it happened, what happened, how it was solved, and explain how you felt about the experience. Band 9 answer. I've had my fair share of great service in restaurants, but there's one particularly disappointing experience that stands out. It happened last summer when my friends and I decided to go out for a celebratory dinner after I had just finished my college exams. We were joined by my cousin, who had come from Canada for a visit, and we were all looking forward to a fun evening together. After hearing rave reviews about a new Chinese restaurant in the city, we were eager to try it out. However, from the moment we arrived, things went awry. The restaurant was bustling with customers, and we were informed that there would be a wait of at least an hour to get a table. Although it was frustrating, we understood that it was peak time, so we patiently stood in line. But when we were finally seated, we immediately noticed that the tables were not cleaned properly. We requested the staff to clean them, but it took them an additional 15 minutes to do so. Once seated, we were starving, so we quickly placed our orders. Despite the restaurant being packed, we expected prompt service. Unfortunately, after we repeatedly asked for our food to be expedited, it took a whole hour for our dishes to arrive. By this time, we were already feeling frustrated, so we decided to speak to the manager about the delay. His response, however, was dismissive. He simply told us that the long wait was due to the rush, which we found to be a poor excuse given the circumstances. When the food finally arrived, it was another letdown. The dishes were undercooked, and the flavors were bland. We made another attempt to speak with the manager, but he was unapologetic and unwilling to address our concerns. In the end, we paid for the meal, though it was far from worth it, and left in search of a more satisfying experience at another restaurant. I was deeply disappointed by the lack of professionalism and poor service we encountered at that restaurant. The staff's lack of urgency and the manager's indifference made the whole experience feel like a waste of time and money. It was frustrating because we had high expectations based on the positive reviews, but unfortunately, the reality did not live up to the hype. We will certainly not be recommending this place to anyone in the future, and I felt that it was a complete letdown both in terms of food and customer service. Part 3 Follow-up questions. Band 9 answer. How do most people respond to bad services? When people experience bad services, their responses can vary depending on their temperament and the severity of the situation. Most people feel frustrated or upset, and they may directly approach the person responsible to express their dissatisfaction. Some customers might ask for a refund or a better solution to resolve the issue. Additionally, it's common for individuals to share their negative experiences with others, either through word of mouth or by posting reviews on platforms like Google or Yelp, warning others about the service. This public feedback can sometimes push the service provider to improve their performance. Do you think services are better now than in the past? In many ways, services today have become more efficient and convenient due to the integration of technology. For example, online services, instant communication, and the ability to track orders have revolutionized customer service, making it faster and more accessible. However, some argue that the rise of automation and online support has led to a decline in the personal touch that was once prevalent. In the past, services were often more personalized and involved face-to-face interactions, which could create a more genuine connection between the customer and the service provider. So, while services may be quicker and more accessible now, they can sometimes feel less personal. What kind of services are bad services? Bad services can occur in many forms, but generally, they are services that fail to meet customer expectations. For instance, a restaurant offering subpar food quality or an online store that delivers late or damaged products can be considered bad services. Poor customer service, like rude or unhelpful staff, can also be categorized as bad service. Essentially, any service that doesn't fulfill its promise or leaves the customer feeling dissatisfied or ignored falls into the category of bad service. Why do some people choose to remain silent when they receive bad services? Some people prefer to remain silent when they receive bad service because they feel that complaining might not lead to any meaningful change or could result in an argument. They might also feel uncomfortable confronting the service provider directly or believe that their complaint won't be taken seriously. For others, avoiding confrontation is simply a matter of convenience. They'd rather let the experience go and move on instead of wasting time in an unpleasant discussion. Who should be responsible for bad services? Generally, the responsibility for bad service lies with the person or the organization providing the service. It's their job to ensure that customers are satisfied with the service they receive, and if something goes wrong, they should address the issue and rectify it promptly. This includes training staff properly, ensuring that products or services meet quality standards, and maintaining an appropriate level of customer care. In some cases, poor service may also reflect a failure in the management or system within the organization, so accountability should extend to the leadership as well. As a boss, what would you do to prevent bad services? As a boss, I would prioritize creating a culture of excellent customer service within my team. This would involve providing comprehensive training to staff members on how to handle customer requests effectively, deal with complaints, and ensure a positive experience for every client. I would also encourage open communication, so employees feel comfortable sharing concerns or issues that might affect service quality. Regularly reviewing customer feedback and conducting performance assessments can help identify areas for improvement. Additionally, fostering an atmosphere of respect and courtesy will help employees treat customers with the highest level of professionalism. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. I'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think or if you have any questions. See you in the next video.